exactly. Since it has been a 2 week unplanned hiatus, um, we should probably have a catch up and see what's pissed us off over the last fortnight. Anything.
People demanding the podcast. Fuck's sake, guys. Let a
It was,
girl and boys live.
yeah, it was completely unplanned. I was on holiday for the first week, and Kyle and Shannon shat it, and then I don't know what happened last week. Oh, I came through to
Last week we
Ireland.
just couldn't find a venue that would host us at the weekend to do one as a
That's
group.
right.
Well, I
That's
think it
right.
started with you were getting shifts. You had to cover shifts in the morning, so we couldn't do a normal slot. And then I had the great idea of maybe try to get it done in person, but then we bit off more than we could chew. So
hmm Yeah,
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 the
that's
studio's
exactly what
still open
happened.
at the weekend.
But we are back now, and I'm sure everybody's delighted to hear us in their ear holes.
yeah, I was going to say we are back, baby.
I'm
I was
still
going to say, we're back,
suffering.
motherfuckers.
I'm still suffering from the weekend. I thought that my allergies were kicking off because Kyle has two cats, and I'm very allergic to cats.
I
And
have two cats and a house renovation happening, so the house is
yeah,
house is covered in dust, and then you've got two cats to add to the mix.
and I'm like, oh man, it's just my allergies, and no, I'm still fucked. So I've caught something for Ryanair. Kyle suggested chlamydia again, potentially.
I don't think many viewers would disagree.
Fucking
Don't
hell.
tell Rachel.
What's your thoughts on having a coffee before you hydrate in the morning? Because I'm on my second coffee and I've had zero sips of water.
Right,
I do
so
it, so I can't judge.
yeah, there's Shannon coming straight in with the feelings versus facts thing on why I do it so sound. So if you want the data behind it, like you really shouldn't first thing in the morning have caffeine straight off the bat because it's like literally waking up to a fire alarm. Your central nervous system just goes straight into fight or flight mode, and then with that, a lot of the kind of parasympathetic nervous system doesn't allow it to do its job in terms of regulating digestion and hydration and stuff like that. So it throws all of them off. Um, Optimal is not always realistic. I'll be the first to say that I've got to the point with parenthood where I've got like what's it called? Chewing gum that's got caffeine in it. So rather than even being arsed going downstairs to go and make a coffee or a can of Monster, I've got them in my drawer beside the bed because I'm literally going to throw one of them into me so that I can wake up before I can even be arsed put my foot on the ground. So being honest, that's not a long-term strategy. But like if you are going through periods where like you are in a fat loss phase or that you're looking at a particular point where stress is super high, at short term, it's yeah, all right. Just wouldn't do it long term.
Yeah, 100%. Um, it's definitely not something that I'll be doing all the time. I just needed caffeine ASAP this morning, that way. I don't know if it's just me that does this, right? Maybe some of the listeners feel like this as well, but see, when I wake up in the morning, I feel like I gag when I take a drink of water, and I don't know why. Like my body's just not ready to accept any liquids. Um, I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, oh, I can't stomach a drink of water.
Some say that gagging's what got you chlamydia in the first place.
I was going to be like, what a choice of words there.
Fucking hell, 2 weeks off, and these are making up for 2 weeks of slagging us, so it's fine. I'll take it in the chin. I'm too tired to fucking fight back.
It's okay.
Um, Gary fighting for life back there.
100%. At least I've got the merch. No, I'm happy with the merch, man. I'm fucking nice and cozy in my new BioFitness hoodie, representing.
We'll give a quick recap.
Represent.
We'll have a quick recap of what actually happened. So, for MD listening who wasn't there, we organised a weekend where we got the biofitness guys together. Gary flew over. It was actually the first time that Gary and Shannon met in person, which is fucking mad considering it's like you've been speaking to each other kind of for about 2 years. Um,
Me internet
I
friend.
It's not your internet friend anymore, considering the
No, you're a real friend now. You're a real boy.
I was fully expecting Shannon not to speak to you for 48 hours, like the entire time you were across, just because of the tism.
It
Just
can
fucking
happen.
nervous and anxious and not speaking to me.
I,
I get
before,
very
but
nervous when I see people from the internet in real life.
I can vouch for this. I've seen Shannon literally like not speak to people at times. I'm like, that comes across as very rude, but it's just a tism. That's
Yeah. I just get so overwhelmed by it all. I'm like, oh my God, they're here in front of me now.
I I was really
That's
expecting.
it. I'm
I was
just
ex
standing there going,
I was expecting you to get in the car and just been like silenced the entire time.
no. And I made Gary a wee present. I made him one of my famous protein bowls.
And they were absolutely outstanding, or it was outstanding.
No, I'm not
You
going to
would
say
see why
that.
people come to Run Club.
No, no, I actually think that she sabotaged you. Your sneezing really kicked off within about 10 minutes of you having that protein ball. Just go throw it out there.
Oh, you fucker, Shannon. A chlamydia
No.
protein bar.
I have never had chlamydia in my life.
Let's move
I
away
don't,
from chlamydia.
That
Let's
you
move
yeah,
away
know
from
of, that you know of, it's a
I
silent
know.
STI.
lads. This is a health and fitness podcast.
Uh,
Right,
that is also to do with health,
Well, that
your
is true.
sexual health.
That is very true.
right, here's a thing. I'm going to just go into what's pissing me off lately. Like, I've went
Yes.
See the rise of the empathetic coach. I feel like it's making a comeback. Like it's really doing my nut. And I've got a guy I had to mute the other day because he started talking about like, see when people cancel calls on you and tell you they're going to start and stuff. It's like that is their decision to make. And it's like you can't tell somebody when it's time to get started. That's their decision to make. And I was like, mate, if somebody's filled in an application form and then got on a call with you and spent an hour with you and told you they're going to get started, then completely ghosted you. I get it's their decision to make. I'm not forcing them to come in, but it's also we can't take away the fact that like we've got an element of fucking respect to be able to say as another human being, by the way, circumstances change, whatever. Because I'm like, you've then essentially wasted 2 hours of somebody's time without actually saying a word. And I know that happens and that's life, but at the same time, I don't think you should just be given a buy and go, well, do you know what? That's theirs. Fuck off.
Yeah, I agree. Like I
Oh,
think people
100%
struggle.
agree.
People forget to realize that we don't just do this for a laugh. Like we don't just hop on a call for a laugh. You know what I mean? Like that's 2 hours of our time that we could have been using to spend with our family, to work in the business, to do something that's more productive for us. Now, I'm not saying calls with potential clients isn't productive. Of course it is, but there is that level of respect that you should be upholding. At least just be honest. In my opinion, honesty is always the best policy. Now, I know there is some coaches online or some like PRs that work for coaches that will try and guilt trip you and make you feel bad about your decision. But at least just like I don't want to say be man enough because I don't. At least just be the bigger person and just hold your hands up and say,
Just
look,
be a human being, not even bigger
aye,
person, just be a decent human being.
aye. Like we're never going to force you into doing something that you don't want to do, but we are going to hold you accountable for the discussions and stuff that we have and the goals and stuff that you have as well at the same time. So yeah, if it's not going to work out, it's not going to work out. Fair enough. Just fucking tell us. Don't leave us hanging. Don't ignore us after having so much back and forward ways and us, yeah, putting a lot of work into it, you putting a lot of work into it because it's a pain in the ass.
Agree. I remember speaking to a photographer for the wedding at one point when we were like discussing it, and he was talking about the amount of times it gets ghosted and stuff like that. I'm like, I know it is part of what happens. Like I've been ghosted by more people than I haven't, but at the same time, as you said, it's one of those ones that's like it really frustrates me when I get other coaches or business owners doing it. I'm going, you should know better. You should know
Yeah,
better.
I fully 100% agree. Um, I don't know what's pissed me off recently. I think the empathetic coach coming back is a biggie, but it's a very good selling point because it appeals to the market of people who do want an arm around the shoulder and to be told that's okay. Like you can make 101 mistakes in a day and you're still going to get to where you want to be, which is not true at the end of the day. But it appeals to people that don't want to put the work in and it appeals to people that don't want to accept that they do have to make changes. So yeah, the empathetic coach he's a what's the word I'm
It's
looking
the
for?
equivalent of a pick me girl.
you go. I actually had to ask Shannon what a pick me girl was last week, and I've used it 3 times since she defined it for me, and it's great.
Yeah, it's a great definition. Now, I know I shouldn't be saying it because I also am a girl, but a pick-me girl is a very distinctive type of person. And I feel like this is how coaches are now being like, I'm not like other coaches. I care. Do we not all care? Like,
Yeah. So you've kind of seen, maybe you guys have seen it, I don't know, but like you've got coaches now rinsing the people who talk about like good client versus bad client, and it's the one where they like have the pen, they chew the lid off the pen, they spit it at the camera and go like good client versus bad client, and it's like good client
Which fair.
pays and does. I feel like this is a podcast of Doug's right now. It's got to say, but yeah, it's like I think there's a lot of coaches jumping on that, talking about how essentially clients are all coachable and clients are whatever. I actually disagree. I don't think all clients are coachable. There's definitely things that I think there's a poor standard of coaching, but I think that not all clients, certainly not at all times, are coachable, and sometimes it needs a bit of awareness behind that as well. Like I think you should be able to call people out on some of their shitter behaviours.
Fucking 100%. Like, and if somebody gets offended or hurt by you calling out what is actually happening, then that's a bit of an issue for that person, and I think they need a bit more than just coaching. I think they need a wee bit of therapy as well to actually accept the fact that, yeah, maybe I'm a wee bit fucked and I do need to start being accountable for my own behaviours and actions.
I got sent a story somebody had put up. I actually sent it to Shannon because she knows the person. We'll keep the person anonymous. But essentially, it was like them bigging up the fact that they've got like 8 weeks of what was meant to be one-to-one coaching for 99 quid or something like that, which equates to like 150 a day or something like that. But I was like, I'm very much here for the point of things being accessible. But I'm also going, right, the quality of coaching, like I've done the numbers. I've had high client numbers. Like that person's, if they are coaching to the level that people should be coached, you're earning far less than minimum wage when you're doing it. And like that's sort of prerogative if they want to do it, if they're new, whatever, that's fine. But also when somebody's signing up for that, they need to understand that from that perspective, that person is probably new and not getting results. But actually, what is more telling is not my perception of it, is the results that people are getting. The person who put it up, I'm like, they're still in the same shape as they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I'm going, well, what is it you want? Is it results or is it like a cheaper payment? Because the cheaper payment's not getting you results. So what actually is more expensive in the long term? And the thing is, that person, I would imagine, based on looking at their stuff, because I did have a wee scan through, I'm like, they're enabling people. Like they're enabling people to like keep their own behaviors. You don't need to weigh yourself. You don't need to track your food. You don't need to go to the gym more than like once a week. And I'm going, well, that's all great because that's your business model and somebody's going to pay you. But at the same time, like, what are you actually doing? Like, just telling people it's sound to like keep living the way you're living. Like, crack on because
It's
tons of
literally
people
it.
are happy. Yeah.
how
Just
did he
getting
get
free
his own
money.
results?
What?
He didn't do like the coach in particular, it's a he. Um, oh, but like he didn't get his results from going to the gym once a week, not weighing himself, not doing any of those things.
Fries my
So I don't
brain.
know why he's well, it's just like like going against what you've done yourself just to get money in the door, and that's worse, I think.
It's essentially just a version of like the person who does Pilates or running at the moment who tells you that you got in great shape doing it. And like you didn't get in great shape doing it. The reason you're in great shape is what you done 3 years ago and you done it for years. Like that's what's got you in shape. And now you're doing Pilates and you think that that's what got you in shape. It's the fact that you're living like a bodybuilder for the last 10 years. Like that's what's got you in shape, not Pilates.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
laughing at Shannon. Kyle said we're going to keep this person anonymous, and Shannon's just straight away. Well, it's a he.
Well,
It's always a
the
danger when you bring this up.
individual we did a name, but the coach was a he.
It's always a danger when we do this with Shannon because I'm like, there's definitely Shannon's going to drop some part of info, but you know what? It is what it is.
And
I'm
I
not
ain't
going to name a
editing anything.
name.
I ain't editing it out. I'm going to clip it and post it.
Do it 100%. It's like a game of Guess Who for local people. They'll be like, yeah, I know who it is. Um,
If anyone wants to play a game of Guess Who, you're more than welcome to play the game of Guess Who with me privately. I'm not going to say I'm going to give you the answer. I might just con you the whole way through it.
There's a big frustration for me about like the message people want to hear right now is particularly, and again, I'm not a woman, clearly, but I think a lot of stuff targeted towards women that I see reshared, and it fucking, because mine's is almost the opposite message. It fries my brain is when you see like women in great shape and going, girls, you need to fuel yourself properly. You need to train like this. You need to take rest days. You need to whatever. I'm going, you train, I'm talking about the people that put these videos up, like usually CrossFit athletes or like something along those lines. And they're like, I'm like, I know that you train 7 times a week. And the reason that you can eat 3,000 calories and still lose body fat is because your expenditure's super high. But you're saying that to Susan, who does 4,000 steps a day in a stressful marriage and like struggles to do any sort of exercise and telling her that she needs to fuel. Fuck off. Susan's overfueled, mate.
Yeah. Fucking tell them, Kyle.
Overfueled and
Um,
undermoved.
100%. It just annoys me because it's always the ones that are overfueled and undermoved that share it. And I'm like, the message that you're picking up from this is that you can eat more because you want to hear that you can eat more, and that's okay. You can't. You shouldn't be eating more. You shouldn't be.
because eating more is what's got you in the position of needing help in the first place.
And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of the time when we take people on board. Actually, one of the comments that they say is, "Oh, I can't believe I'm eating as much." You're not eating more. What you're doing is you're eating voluminous foods that are giving you more energy and actually, like, they all have a purpose. But the fact is, right now, that you're smashing. Like, here's an example. Jen and I are using HelloFresh for our evenings because we're trying to, like, again, get into the routine of eating as a family, portion sizes, picking meals and all that, which just reminds me it's Thursday and I never picked my meals last night, so we're going to end up getting hit with shite meals. Oh, disaster. Jen's going to batter me. Anyway, that aside, every second step in the HelloFresh thing is now drizzle oil, now drizzle oil, now drizzle oil. And I'm going, right, the packaging originally said it was 650 calories, but I'm like, there's absolutely no way when you total this up at 650 calories for a main meal because there's literally about 400 calories worth of oil. And that's me being like, that's me just being, I don't know, like, not generous with it, what's the other word?
Modest? I don't know what's that.
So I don't know, I used it sparingly, suppose would be a better word. But yeah, the calories are ranking up, and I'm going, well, do you know what? I'm eating a dinner that's probably close to 1,000 calories. And do you know what? It tastes phenomenal, but at the same time, it's full of oil, full of salt. And I'm like, right, well, do you know what? You probably are overfueling a lot of the time. If we just kind of pin that back and take some of the oil out of it, then you know what? Actually, you probably still lose a bit of body fat, but lots of people are so
Aye.
unaware of the calories that they take on.
Yeah.
I couldn't even remember the last time I willingly used oil for cooking.
Oh, I use oil all the time, but I just wait. I prefer oil to see the wee 1 calorie sprays. It cooks better, it tastes better. It just all round it's got more health benefits to it as well, especially if it's like proper like olive oil. Um, but yeah, like that's one of the things that gets me is I can't believe I'm eating so much food. Um, and being in a diet, and as you said, Kyle, it's not that you're eating more food or so much food. It's just that you're eating the right types of food. We can easily rack up 3 to 3,500 calories a day of eating utter shite because it doesn't fill you up. It's very calorie dense. The typical foods that most people normally eat, very high in fat. So the calories are super high. We cook with oil. We don't track the oil. So yeah, easily 3 to 3,500 calories a day. That's what's got you into the position of needing help in the first place. When we start to look at your food, when we start to bring in more veggies, bring in more fruits, bring in more lean proteins, the volume within that food is what's going to keep you feeling fuller for longer, rather than eating tons and tons of super calorie dense, smaller foods that isn't going to keep you feeling fuller for longer, essentially. So, yeah, it's nice when people have that realization that they can eat a lot in terms of volume and still lose weight. It's good. Like, but I don't know. I am of the opinion though that you're going to get hungry when you're in a calorie deficit. The reason we want you to eat voluminous foods is to try and combat that hunger as long as possible. But if you're not experiencing any sort of hunger, doesn't need to be super intense hunger, but if you're not experiencing slight bouts of hunger throughout your day or sometimes at night, then you're probably not in as much of a calorie deficit as you think.
Statement controversial, but a hot take here. don't even think it's a hot take, but we are so comfortable and it's so easy to be comfortable with everything right now. The slightest amount of uncomfortability and people freak out. The moment they feel hunger
Mhm.
for the first time in 10 or 15 years, they're like, oh fuck, I'm so hungry. I'm like, you're not so
And an
hungry. It's just
Ethiopian child.
you're just not used to not eating every fucking 2 hours and snacking on things. That's your problem. You've never felt hunger.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like any time previously that you did feel the slightest bout of hunger or you got a slight craving, you satisfied that hunger, you satisfied that craving. Now you're having to actually think about it. Am I hungry or is this a learned habit?
Here's an example, and it's a real world example. I love this because Gary and I were sitting in a taxi on Saturday on the way to the night out. There was a guy from Pakistan who was taking us to the night out, and I asked him how he's like, he was talking about how long he'd been in Dundalk and whatever. And I said to him, like, how do you find it? And he's like, it's good. I just don't like the cold weather. And I was like, oh, how do you find winter? And he's like, oh, I'm used to it now. But here's exactly the point. I think if you were from Pakistan and experiencing what he said was 50 degrees on a regular basis, like when you feel cold to start off with, it's really uncomfortable. But see what happened is he came over here and he probably felt for the first 3 or 4 days of winter, which probably starts in August time, that he's like, I am going to die. But do you know what? See what happens when you get into the depths of November, December, January, and you have no choice? You get fucking used to it. Like you learn that, do you know what? You need to adapt. So rather than walking about Pakistan with a wee t-shirt on, he's going to have to buy a big jacket, and do you know what? That'll keep him warm. And the reason I'm saying that is because when you get hungry and you've got lower calories, what you need to do is your version of a jacket is getting some voluminous foods because you know what? That will make you less hungry. So if you keep doing things the way you do things, then you're not going to change. But see, for change to happen, you need to adapt your circumstances.
Fucking mic drop. Let's finish the episode there.
Yeah. Good night. God bless. See you later.
Yeah, Shannon, you want to dive in with anything, any opinions or anything that's pissed you off this week? Because you're always pissed off these days, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm due my monthly friend, so everything's getting under my tits at any point at this point. I'm just ready to box anyone. Um, I would say with Kyle, like the whole concept of women having to train, fuel, all of that differently. That's a big
Yeah,
push at the moment I'm seeing. Um, I'm seeing a lot of push for supplements now. Um, I'm seeing a lot of people diagnosing themselves with endometriosis but not going to doctors because apparently the doctors don't know. And I'm like, well, you don't know either because the only way you're going to fucking find out is if they cut you open. Literally, that's the only way you'll find out. Um, yeah, just influencers in the wild are doing me fucking tits in, doing me
yeah.
tits in with their fake glasses and their fucking. Oh, there's a typical fella I'm thinking of right now, and he's now a specialist for women's health. And I just thought that was the most ironic thing I've ever came across in my life. He's a PCOS coach.
I don't know if we're thinking about the same person, but I think we are. Um,
It's his
I
marketing gimmick. He literally brings it up for every video, being like, I'm a PCOS coach," and I'm like, "Are you though?" Like we all have done a women's health course at some point. Doesn't mean you're fucking coaching it.
wow, Shannon, going straight in there with a shotgun. I'm here
So
for it. I Yeah, like looking from the other side, like as in from the coaching side and knowing a lot of these coaches, a lot of the time I see the fact that like doubling down on women is actually the fact that they haven't been able to coach men. And for me, the
hmm
reason they can't coach men is because as a man, they haven't actually done things that are aspirational that other men want to coach with them. So it's an easier market to then look at someone who can't directly relate to them, as in like going to a woman and then pretending you're a specialist in it, because that way it doesn't really matter if you are able to keep in shape or not yourself, because ultimately, like you're coaching somebody who doesn't need to kind of view things from like your shoes. As long as you say some fancy and niched words, then ultimately you'll get clients, and there's a big pain point there. Being honest, being part of a different couple of different mentorships, I think a lot of the time you get guidance from those people and they're telling you you need to niche down even further and further and further and further. And to be honest, I know this is going to sound fucking mad. We would probably financially, as biofitness would could definitely earn more money if we looked at just niching down into, again, women, PCOS, anything like that, like because ultimately there's a pain point for it, but it's just for me, morally, ethically, and enjoyably, not for us, like not at all.
Yeah, mate,
Sure,
the
I could
whole
niche
niche
down into
thing.
being an endo fucking queen, but I've decided not to because I'll give my 2 cents on it and what I know about endo, but I'm not a specialist in it. I just have my own experience. But could you imagine if I flipped the coin and I just decided I was going to be a testosterone uh, specialist, like and going to men being like, I know how to get your fucking testosterone under control and you'll just get gains. I'd be
When you,
ridiculed. They'd
yeah, when
look
you
at
put
me
it that
like, are
way,
you fucking serious? This
aye.
little 5'4" girl coming along saying she can do this.
I'd give you that. Fair dues, Shannon. That's a really good analogy.
Aye, when you put it that way, it puts it into a different light. I definitely think the niche market has been taken for a joyride at this point. I'm seeing adverts for you guys have probably seen it as well. She gets a lot of fucking stick in the comments, but she's marketing for like lesbians. And
Uh,
whilst there's nothing wrong with that, but she's like lesbians stop training this way, and other
I've
people
seen
are
these, yeah, and they're like,
yeah, people in the comments are like, can straight males train this way and all that, like just taking the absolute piss out. But there's also a boy doing it for gay men, which, listen, if that's who you want to work with, that's who you want to work with. That's perfectly okay. But don't say gay men or lesbians have to train specific ways because
in a different way.
yeah, because then that starts to create that bit of a separation from society and being fucking gay. Like, what is that all about? It just
There's
absolutely
no
blows my
difference in my
mind.
tricep push down and your tricep push down. We still move the
No,
same fucking muscles.
absolutely. It's just so bizarre, and I think it can create a bit of hostility within the fitness space, but it also creates so much fucking confusion between people looking for a coach.
right, I'm going to give you my 2 cents on this. I think you should, to an extent, have an avatar of who you're coaching.
You
We
want to
do.
work it.
We don't typically coach 17 to 22-year-old anybody, because ultimately that stage of their life is very different to the people that we typically coach who are essentially 30 to 45 or upwards of that, who have kids, who have stresses. We help them simplify things. So I do think it is important that you have ideas as to who you're talking to, because I think within that it just makes it easier for, like, for instance, we have our members lab and stuff. We are not going to have tons of videos on how to run a fucking marathon, because whilst we do have people who run marathons, it's not really the kind of thing that people do that often within our kind of like niche. So I do think it is important you have that, but when you take it to the extreme, like you touched on it there, I did like your wording. There's a boy who trains gay men. And I'm like, is it a boy who trains men? That sounds a bit strange and suspect. But there was a guy in Glasgow when I was a PT. It was the first time I heard about this, and it's a fucking genius idea. Like he was, what's it called? He wasn't gay, but he found out, well, not found, but maybe did find out he had a few gay
Discovered
clients.
himself.
But no, he had no. He found that he had a few gay clients, and he found that one of the at the time, I think the nightclub or place they all went was called Pipeworks. So he decided to change his entire business to Pipeworks PT. So literally, he just started like accumulating more and more gay clients. Now, this is back in the day before online coaching and stuff was a thing, it's just an in-person PT, but like he ultimately got a lot more clients because if you were somebody who went to or I was in the gay community, he was the go-to guy. And I don't think there's a massive amount wrong with that. Where I think it's taken the piss is when you literally go, yeah, if you're a lesbian woman, this is what you should do and whatever, because that's where the message gets really, really confusing. Just as a really last point to that I was going to wrap up on, I'm gluten intolerant and really struggled for years in terms of skin rashes, bloating, and stuff like that. I was originally thinking about calling myself the gluten-free PT, and I'm like, there is a lot in terms of like if I put all my content out that was how to like again get over gluten intolerances, food training, all that, then that is a genuinely decent niche to be able to get people in. I just didn't want to put myself in that bracket of that's the only people I coach. I understand I'm probably going to get, I would be able to charge a lot more doing gluten-free PT because there's a demand and there's a pain point to it, but it's not really the one that I want to chase, if that makes sense.
Yeah, gluten-free PT sounds gay as fuck, mate. I would be referring you to that boy that trains gay men.
Is it, it sounded like a while ago. Is he still a boy or is he a man yet?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I think he's fake. I think he's Scottish. I think he's fake Glasgow. But I agree. Having a specific avatar or niche group as such. But when you go to the extremes and you're specifying that lesbians shouldn't do a normal tricep push down, they should do X, Y, and Z instead, like that is just fucking baffling because at the end of the day, anatomically and biologically, we are still human fucking beings. We still have the same inset and origin points of our muscles. We still have the mostly have the same skeletal structure. The basics work across the board. You don't have to train a specific way. You don't have to eat a specific way just because of your sexuality. It just, yeah, it's fucking stupid. So that's what's pissed me off.
Here's a question for you.
Shit.
What's your ideal client? Like the perfect match?
Could you repeat that because I accidentally touched my earphone and it turned the volume up and I didn't hear you.
I said, what's your ideal client? Like the perfect match for you? Like if you seen this application coming in the door, you did the call with them and you were like, yes, this is someone I want to work with.
Kyle, if you don't say me right now, I'm fucking leaving the business.
Me.
um, I right, this is a very good question, and it's going to sound like a really broad answer, but I would love to work with someone who isn't scared to make mistakes, who isn't scared to actually hold themselves accountable, and who isn't scared to actually change their habits, change their ways, and change their routines. I don't have a specific, are they male, are they female, are they mid-20s or the mid-40s. I don't really care about that for my ideal client. I just want someone that is asking lots of questions, taking in lots of information, and isn't scared of putting in a good bit of hard work in the gym. It's not, like that's literally my checklist. Do you know what? You're fucking perfect. You're asking the right questions. You're making a mistake, but you're coming to me when you make that mistake. You're not waiting till check-in before I find out that you've
Mm,
made 6, 7 mistakes and you've written half the week off. Someone that's communicative, not scared to make mistakes, and willing to put the work in.
Kyle.
I don't, very broad answer, yes, but
I like it though. Like I would agree. I'd be like, yes, when we blend so well and we know how to communicate with each other and we're not fucking hiding incredible times.
I also like people who are not scared to take a bit of banter and give a bit of banter back.
Mm,
The darker the humor, the better.
and that's why we're friends.
Well, I'm going to go into the science of it first, and then I'll tell you why the decisions were made. So, I had a couple of mentorships that used to tell you like we're talking about like getting more clients and people that you enjoy working with. They had a chart where you have to write 3 different avatars down, and you have to with each of the avatars, like let's say that was let's go 17 to 22-year-old single men who enjoy bodybuilding, right? And then the next one is like whatever 30 to 50-year-old perimenopause. Well, actually probably not perimenopause at 30, but let's just go like
It's
45 to
possible.
I know it's possible, Shannon, but like but yes, 45 to 55-year-old perimenopausal women, right? You were to write down firstly 3 categories. Do you like them? Was the first tick box. Can you help them? Was the second tick box, and then the third one was can they pay you? And that's ultimately the free checklist that you have. Now, when you look at what's his name, done West Side Barbell, Louis Simmons, he talks about in his book, and same with Mark Ripito, Starting Strength, they love working with power lifters, but a lot of the time they didn't fucking make a penny because power lifters can't pay you. It's the same with bodybuilders. A lot of the time there's no money in bodybuilding. Like bodybuilding coaches, like they don't earn a lot of money. They do it for the. I know there's exceptions to the rule, but they'll do it for the love of what they are. So I think unfortunately a lot of the time the people that you love working with are probably also not the same people who are going to pay you a massive amount of money. Hence the reason that you also get people who dive into the PCOS. I would almost guarantee you most men who go women's health specialists for PCOS probably don't love it because they're dealing with a lot of women who have problems and like but again it pays good bills. So to answer the question without all of that, who I enjoy working with, it varies. Like I probably a bit of wishy-washy answer, same as Gary, but I've had a 15-year-old boy who I took on that I'm like, I literally seen him grow up and how health and fitness changed his life. And I was like, he went from being bullied to like genuinely getting a medal in a powerlifting competition. And man, he's the size of Arnold Schwarzenegger now. I'm going, the change in that boy's life has been massive. Like, so you're talking about changes, like that's great, but then you also look at the likes of AJ Quillen, Niall, like you guys, you see the element of change that it has in your life. You're all slightly different, but I think it's what I enjoy working with is a bit similar to you, Gary, someone who'll turn up and who'll be able to present their problems. There's nothing worse than like coaching somebody no matter what it is, and it's like they're not giving you any information whatsoever. It's just like, how's your week? Okay, what's coming up this week? Nothing. Any feedback? No. And then like 3 weeks in, they're going, oh, this just isn't working for me. I'm going, well, I've got hairy balls, not crystal balls. Like, fucking tell us what's happening.
I seen a post on Insta. I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook yesterday, and it was, I'm going to butcher it. Obviously, I'm not saying it word for word here, but it was along the lines of, if you can't spend 10 to 20 minutes doing a check-in and filling out your data spreadsheet once per week, how do you expect me to believe that you've done everything else that I've asked of you across the 7 days? And I think that's, yeah, as a coach, I was like, holy fuck, that hits home massively. Because I was saying, was it on Monday night's call, when we don't get information data, when we get fuck all back from you, like our check-in responses are like basically sitting down in front of the laptop with a blindfold on. And it's like, yeah, as I was
We
going to
can
say, as
only give
Crystal
as
said,
much as we can
yeah,
get.
exactly. Yeah, as Kyle said, we don't have a magic crystal ball. We are not mind readers. We need to know what's in your head. We need to know your thought processes. We need to know the actions that you've been taking. We're not here to ridicule. We're not here to belittle. We're not here to make you feel guilty or bad. We are here to hold you accountable for your actions and give you a clear, solid plan for how to get you to where you want to be. You might not like what the plan entails, but that's what you have to do to get to where you want to be.
I'm gonna bring up something quite controversial, a recent thing that was aimed towards me. Yeah, I was gonna say nice, nice. I think one of the things that like when it comes to coaching, we are paid to help get someone results. We're not paid to be somebody's friend. And a lot of time people get that conflated. I'm not saying there's not friendship outside of that and everything else. Like there is part of that, but like ultimately a lot of the things that we do are to teach people to be self-sufficient. So when somebody says to me, going, like, you've not texted me every single day or you whatever, I'm like, well, what part of you is lacking trust to be able to do this yourself? Why do you need a text every single day? Like, I'm not saying that what I've done is what everybody should do, but I mean, like, I've paid coaches genuinely thousands, mentors thousands, and sometimes you're lucky if you get a text back, like as in ever. Like you're pretty much a case of going, well, we're teaching you and you have the tools to be able to do this yourself. We'll assess the data and we'll come back to you when we need to come back to you. But like a lot of the time there's this, and I see it in other coaches, it's like I see this thing, it's been offline, it's like, oh, my coach didn't get back to me in 24 hours. I'm like, mate, you've sent a video about a tricep extension. It's not fucking A&E. Like, well, you'll be okay. Like, you'll get, and this is the thing, you can pay coaches, and I'm sure there's certain of them who pride themselves and go, no, I text you back all the time. I don't think like you can text somebody back, but see if you're texting somebody back and the information's shite, like, yeah, fine, you go and pay that. You go and pay your fucking 99 quid for 2 months worth of coaching and learn absolutely nothing. But at the same time, like hold your hands sometimes and go, do you know what? Like, I need to take a bit of this. There's a difference between ownership and accountability. And I always assess that with people. I'm like, I'm happy to give accountability, but what does accountability look like? If you're somebody who needs me to turn up to your door and needs me to make your dinner for you, then I'm probably not the coach for you. Like, I'm going to give you a task. I'm going to go and trust you to do it. And we build a team of people that we give tasks and we build them to do it. Like, that's for me, there is an element of having to teach somebody to be self-sufficient. And with that, that comes along check-ins as well. Fill in your fucking check-in properly.
Yeah, do your fucking check-in, track your fucking food, weigh yourself daily and give us all the information. And no, you're not paying us to keep you motivated. You're not keeping us to motivate you. No, we are not here to motivate. We are not the jester for the king. We are here to hold you accountable and give you a kick up the arse when needed.
This fries my fucking brain. I've heard this several times. This when I'm going the check-in I send every week, it's the same check-in. Fucking good. Good. Do you know what? It should be because you know what? Most of the time life is a bit monotonous and it is a bit boring. But do you know what? The thing is, see when you turn up every single week, things don't feel difficult and you're still making progress, that's a fucking good thing. That is a good thing. Again, when I've been part of mentorships paid thousands for, I'm like, you sit in a call and I'm going, well, this is the same thing every week. It's the same people asking the same questions. But do you know what? See, when you sit in the room with the same people asking the same questions, you start to get it in your head. It's sets and reps and sets and reps and sets and reps. See, you need to get away from this mentality that every single thing needs to be different and exciting every single week. I do get there's an element of, yes, there needs to be enjoyment in it and there needs to be direction. But see, after that, there's a lot of it where you need to suck up the hard yards and go, do you know what? See, if you're in the proximity of change, look at the people around you, they get results. Do you know what? You're in a good place. Fucking keep checking in, keep moving on.
Sit
100%.
down.
And sit there
But
only after
but
you've done your steps.
I was
Yeah.
just about to fucking say that, you bastard.
There was somebody that said something the other day, and it was like, and they were talking about, oh, that was on our call. And I was like, it's okay to take a step back with steps. And I was like, well, you can count that towards your steps. I'm like, there you
There
are.
you go.
That joke's all over the place.
Yes, it doesn't matter if you're moving forward or backwards with your steps, they're still fucking steps.
I'm going to give you behind the curtains on two parts of my PT career, but I think being an empathetic coach had served me, but also I think it's a hindrance. So when I was an in-person coach, in the early days of it, like, and I see this right now and it frustrates me, but I've realised I've done it. See, when you post a video of somebody and they're like, oh, let's say Ryan has achieved a 180 kilo squat, and I'm watching this video and
Shout
going,
out to Ryan.
go on, Ryan. But I'm watching Ryan and his squat is fucking higher than Snoop Dogg, and he's posting it online. And I'm going, oh, that's a hard one because there's people in the comments going, firstly going, oh, well done, Ryan. I'm going, that's really hurts my soul because I see there's a particular gym that I follow that I'm like, oh, you just post tons of this, and it's like middle-aged women, and you're going, well done on her PB, and I'm going, she looks like she's going to fucking blow her back out on this PB, but you know what? At least she's going to the gym, I suppose. But I'm like, I'm not going to lie. Back in the early days, I've done this. Like I've been going, you know what? And it builds confidence in them because they don't know any better. They probably deep down know something doesn't feel right, and their back's a bit sore after it. But you're going, you know what? Like don't know, Linda has achieved an 18, 90 kilo deadlift, and that's what's kept Linda going to the gym. And I suppose other habits as a byproduct have improved, but it does hurt my soul when I'm like, that coach nowadays I'm like I get training videos from people and going, it's really good at giving the shit sandwich. I'm like, it's really good that you've done this and we're looking pretty sharp for the most part. However, we're missing about 9 inches of depth. So can we please work on that? Thank you.
Is that a
I've
guy's
gotten
nine
those
inches?
ones.
What is that, a guy's 9 inches or a lady's 9 inches?
Fucking Jen was talking about a pizza. Jen was talking about a pizza the other day, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't know that how big like the 7 inch slice was." And I was like, "Jen, should know what a 7 inch slice looks like."
Oh,
Very good,
innocent
very good.
boys.
Uh,
A 7 inch meat feast.
oh, for fuck's sake.
Rachel
Yeah,
went for a
I.
vegetarian, so we all know what Rachel's into.
Do you know what? I'm definitely sending you that boy's Facebook, Instagram that trains gay men.
One more client.
Aye, I agree with what you said as well, mate. There is a time and a place for the empathetic coach or the empathetic coaching side of you to come out. And we've been in this industry for a combined total of fucking 25 plus years, and we have we have mastered the art of being able to be empathetic when it's needed. And I think that's, you can't buy that. That just comes from experience. That comes from being in this industry for an extended period of time. Like I was the same as you, Kyle, right back at the start of my coaching career. The amount of mistakes that I made, mate. Oh, I actually came across my first ever program that I wrote for a client, and it is the fucking worst thing. And it's because when you are qualifying for to become a PT, you don't get taught how to program, you don't get taught how to periodize training properly. You just get taught what you have to know to pass the exam, and then you get set out into the wild. You get released into the wild, and you have to fend for yourself. So the amount of mistakes that I made back in the day is terrifying. It actually got that bad that see when I got back into the industry and I'd learned a lot more, I'm like, do I like phone up my old clients and like offer to refund them? That is how
Just
bad it was.
an apology here.
Yeah, like holy shit, like fucking hell. So yeah, were you going to say something there, Kyle?
Yeah, mate, I struggle with this one because I think like there's definitely clients back in the day that like I look at the way that I coached them and I'm like, ah man, I could have done so much better. And like, I don't, I think if you don't look back at your work sometimes and go, you're embarrassed by it, then you've not grown. And I think that's a sign of growth. Everybody should look at the problem is a lot of people don't look back and think they've done anything wrong or don't see any issues with it. I look back at tons of things. I look back even a couple of years ago and I would argue that our results, not even argue, had data that results percentage was really high a couple of years ago. But even then I'm going, there's definitely people that have slipped through the cracks in there. There's certainly things that I have done, and I'm like, I think when you're earlier on, your prices should reflect the level of service that you're getting. So this is where I'm saying about the person that was 99 quid for 2 months worth of one-to-one coaching. I'm like, well, fair enough. See if they're doing that early part of it and they're making mistakes and they're finding out and fucking about, then grand, that's fine. Somebody should be paying that knowing that that's partly what's happening. But at the same time, like, I think when you're slightly more experienced and stuff, then you can start to demand more like a higher price point and stuff. But again, that's what you're paying for, and people should understand that when you're coming in and like you're paying what you're paying for one-to-one coaching now, and whatever you're paying for somebody who can get things done for you quickly. So like, what would cost you 99 quid for like I don't know, like as I said, the
Five
person.
years.
Well, this is the thing, 5 years, and realistically, the proximity of change isn't going to be very high over a 5 year period. Like, realistically, you could probably get that done in 3 months. Like, I had this conversation with Kira. I'm like, partly the issue I feel right now is like lots of things feel almost, don't want to say too easy, but I'm just like, people are getting results and it doesn't feel like there's much struggle on my side. And I do genuinely, like, I mean, I struggle with that because what used to be me filling value with like 15-minute Loom videos, I'm like, I can literally get to the point in 3 minutes and tell them this is went well, this is what we need to do, and this is what's going to move the needle forward. And I'm like, you're then shortening things like to a point where I'm like, I don't know, I kind of feel like sending a 3 minute voice message, even though that is what's getting them results and people are staying. And I'm like, I don't know, it strikes me as like there should be more hardship in it than what it is.
You
But
just
that's
wait till
just
you get my
because
check in this week.
What was that, Shannon?
I said, you just wait till you get my check in this week.
Oh, Shannon, yours has been on the back burner for a while in terms of like every week it's just going, it's the increasing, the hormones aren't feeling good and the weight's just not going the way it is. I'm like, oh, this is going to build to a crescendo.
Yeah, and everything's crashing out. We're waiting for the crash out.
it's
We've been on a good steady roll. Something has to happen.
that's yeah, what you were saying, Nicky, that's just years of honing your craft and getting much better at what you're doing and getting much better at relaying the message across to each individual client. And you have built yourself a network of clients who are your ideal avatar, your ideal niche, who are willing to listen, who are willing to take on the information that you're giving them, who are willing to make the changes, who aren't scared of putting in hard work and effort in the gym. And that is because of the experience that you have in this industry. So I think it says a lot for you. Um, it says a lot for your character. It says a lot for your ethos and your ego in a good way. So don't take that away for yourself. 100% don't take that away for yourself.
I appreciate that, mate. The other kind of point I was maybe trying to make poorly on that is just like a couple of years ago, I would have felt like I had to make 12 to 15-minute videos for people.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they sat through them a lot of the time. But I viewed that as, right, that's what I had to do. But right now, I'm like, oh, I feel like refunding those people because I'm like, they've had to sit and listen to me stalking shite, not shite, because there obviously was results and value in there for 12 to 15 minutes because I felt like I had to. And I'm like, I feel for them because I'm now understanding the other side of it. I'm a busy parent, and you know what I don't have? 15 full minutes to sit down and watch and take details. And when the coach has said to me, and remember to do these 9 different things, I'm like, I'm not remembering that in a 15-minute video. So being on the other side of it, I'm like, yeah, I probably understand. And again, I'm just what bouncing points in my head. I do get the point in terms of, oh, if this person isn't willing to fill in a spreadsheet and everything else, what else are they not willing to do? I've been guilty of saying that and doing that to people, but I'm also kind of going, people have fucking busy lives a lot of the time. It doesn't mean they don't want it. It's just how do you simplify something to make it easier for someone in the first place? I do, again, it goes back to the accountability and ownership thing. Like, I'm happy to keep somebody accountable to their goal, but there needs to be a level of ownership that they need to turn up and do. But I know I'm flip-flopping between points here.
It's so good, mate. It's just how your brain's working this morning. How much caffeine have you had?
I'm not going to lie,
How many
right?
chewing gums did you eat?
No, I'm just going to come clean on this. Jen and I, we drove. We're away right now because the house is getting renovated, and it's been a couple of weeks where I've just not been on top of things because the Wi-Fi connection's been down. There's holes getting sawed into whatever. Finn's literally jumping into wires. I'm like, we can't live in this house, so we've ended up getting a hotel. But within the hotel, we've had a fuck up with a room where we got there after 4 hours of Dublin traffic last night at 7:45 last night, and we got landed to a room that didn't have an elevator to get to. So we went to the second floor up, and then actually the room we had to go was actually downstairs.
Oh.
There's no way to whatever. So we're walking, we're raging. But then moved us to a different room. But the room that it moved us to didn't have an office. Like there's a room we done purposely had in the first place had office space and space, and now we've moved us to a room that didn't. So I had to whatever get an office. So the point to this anyway. Got to 8 o'clock last night. We went to go and get dinner. Dinner was running late, and you know what Celtic were playing. And Jen and I were just like, she's like, I'm having a glass of wine, and I was like, I'm having a pint, and it became we just kept going and going and going. And I'm not saying that like there's probably like 4 or 5 pints there, but I'm like, I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh, I don't feel the freshest. And I was like, I also realised that I had to get office space, and I booked it last night at like 11 o'clock at 5 pints deep, and I'm going, I don't even know where this is. So I've turned up this morning, I've not got my charger, I've downed a can of caffeine on the way here. So I think my brain's just all over the place going, right, you've not had time to actually settle. So apologies to any listeners in terms of, but to tell you what, similar to the conversation, I'm no refunding you. It's not happening.
I love that mom and dad was out. Yeah.
Finn, I'll tell this a laugh. You know the wee milks you get for the tea in hotel rooms, like you pull them.
Is he drinking them?
Finn, I turned round for literally a couple of minutes, and Finn had 5 of them lined up, took the lid off and done them like shots. And I was like, there's Finn on his holidays doing shots of milk.
That's him on the protein bulk. Fucking love it.
Mate, he's started to drink from cups now, so he's like getting when we're getting a pint, he's like, I want a pint, so he's saying to us, like, get me some milk, and he's literally 3 pints of milk deep, fucking shots. I'm like, Finn probably woke up with a hangover this morning.
Proper
From a
milk
milk
hangover. I
buzz.
love it. Yeah, 100%. No, that's good. I'm glad that he's managed to
Jesus, my
get
love.
settled, even though it was fucking stressful. But you've held it together pretty well, I would say. Even though you've been bouncing left and right, you've held it together. Everything's made sense.
Yeah. You
Let's
even
just
brought science in.
put it this way. I've been training my tolerance for alcohol lately.
Yes, you have. Here, just before we sign off, what about me, my fucking running injury? Did you see it? How bizarre was that?
Oh, your eye.
What about you walking up a mountain in fucking fans?
Don't start that. I'm never trusting Kyle with shoe recommendations again. See the Adidas trainers that he told me to get for running? I'm putting them right in the fucking bin.
I'm going to state, firstly, Gary's question was not what footwear should I wear? It was, is this a hike or is it kind of just a walk dressed up as a hike? And I was like, it's an hour up and an hour down. It's just a fucking walk,
Yeah,
mate.
it's a walk.
Yeah, so it's a walk. So, yeah, at that point, it turned up in Vans.
No, I did specify what shoes. I said there, I've only got Vans or I've got running shoes. So I need to know which
I
ones
would
I'm
do it
bringing.
in fans.
Man, if
I
No,
that's
would
you
your
run it
wouldn't.
in
two,
fans.
if that's your two options, mate, I'd have still stuck with the Vans. I'd have just got the sand out your vagina and got on with it.
Ah, it was a fucking terrible,
I was
terrible,
actually
terrible
concerned when I
idea.
seen people in running shoes. I was like, why isn't your running shoes for like this? Are we running
That
this hill?
everybody had decent footwear choice apart from the three fucking coaches.
Stand by mine. I love a wee fucking night court.
Shannon, have you ever heard the term, and maybe you can finish it with me, a bad workman blames his, what is it?
His shoes or something? Or
Oh,
his,
fuck me.
I
Oh,
don't
I'm
know.
done. Thank you for listening to the BioFit with Us podcast. Thanks for Dave and Toby for the music. We'll see you next week, and bye bye.